Hi, I'm Alice, and be ready, cause the shit's about to get kinda spooky. The 12 Tribes cult is the unhinged of unhinged. It is scary and bizarre and makes you wonder how anyone could have possibly fallen for this, especially hundreds, if not thousands of people who are still falling for this. But don't get me wrong, you don't have to be dumb to taste this sweet juice, cult juice. In fact, you can be the smartest person ever and still get brainwashed very severely. Anyway, why 12 tribes? Why not 6 or 9? And to answer all of these questions and all of my other questions that I had, I've read their books. Yeah, 12 tribes write books. And yeah, I have nothing else to do with my life. So with that being said, let's dive. The name 12 tribes refers to the 12 tribes of Israel and to actual tribes, or better, communities that exist right now. They own farms, construction companies, delis, the Yellow Deli delis, which I'm sure you heard of because they're quite popular, okay? They serve good food, they're very friendly, unless they're trying to recruit you, but even then they're doing so in a very friendly manner. 12 Tribes cult is pretty controversial and full of gunk.
A US television hidden camera investigation filmed the children of the 12 tribes being forced to work in a factory assembly line and a 6-year-old boy being put to work on their farm.
The 12 tribes emerged from the Jesus movement of 1970s, just like Children of God and the family cult, which are very interesting fellas. And I love them dearly. The first version of the 12 tribes was called the Light Brigade, and it was a small coffee shop set up by Albert Eugene Spriggs and his wife, Marsha Ann Spriggs, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in 1972. They started out as a Bible study group and then evolved into the community, which members lived together, shared everything, and worked at a restaurant called the Yellow Deli. Now their leader, Albert Eugene Spriggs, was born in Tennessee in 1937. He graduated from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga with a degree in psychology. A certified shrink he was. Anyway, in 1975, the community withdrew from the local churches and tried to recreate the Christian church of the early 1st century AD, when all the believers were together and had everything in common, when they sold property and possessions to give to everyone who had need. So the Light Brigade changed their name to the Vine Community Church and began to baptize members in the local pond, to which Chattanooga citizens had very negative reaction and started to call it a cult. I mean, it's pretty reasonable, I don't know, I'm not sure. Even cult deprogrammers started rescuing people, and by rescuing, I mean kidnapping them. Not the best way to de-brainwash, but whatever. It did not suppress the Vine Community Church. Their many businesses continued to flourish and to gain more and more popularity over the years. So this is how it all began. It was a very brief history of the cult. Sorry, time limits. I have a lot of assignments to do. More like assignments. The 12 tribes' beliefs are bizarre. They involve violence and human sacrifice, so everything we'll love. I'm joking, okay? The 12 tribes call Jesus Yahshua, which is his Hebrew name, and believe that he will come back after 12,000 male virgins from each tribe sacrifice themselves. That is 144,000 virgins. That's a lot of virgins. Dead virgins. So if you're a virgin and you've decided to join this cult, please do reconsider. But once you've joined, you undergo a severe brainwashing. The cult completely changes your perception of life. You stop caring about yourself and your needs and start caring about the community and what's best for the community and not for you. Ex-members said they had to cut off all the ties with the outside world, like with their family and friends. They had to change their names to Hebrew ones and leave without making any decisions on their own. Everything was decided for them by the elders of the community. What they eat, what they drink, how they dress and act. Everything. Which is a basic cult shit. Basic, but very sad. While doing my research, I've sort of fallen down a rabbit hole and found the deepest of the deep while in that hole. And I want to show you a few quotes that I stole from the 12 Tribes YouTube channel. As the disciples of Yeshua, we get to obey all of his commands. He said to give all your possessions, but it's not just about possessions like physical things, but it's also about your own ideas and your own thoughts about life and your own autonomy. I found it interesting that they say that us being led by our own thoughts is a bad thing, and that the freedom that we have in the outside world is not actually freedom. Weird. Yes. Strange. Yes. And that's all I say. The 12 Tribes are infamous for their racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic beliefs. If you're Jewish, they hate you. If you're gay, they hate you even more. If you're black, they force you to serve whites. And if you're Abraham Lincoln, don't be Abraham Lincoln. He sucks. You know what he did? 12 Tribes are not fans. Speaking of racism, in this cult, racism stems from a story about the curse of Ham. The curse of Ham is described as a curse imposed on Noah's son Ham because he looked upon his father's nakedness a bit funny. Allegedly, Ham was the ancestor of all black people, so now this curse is used as a very convenient way to justify slavery. What if I told you it's not real? Curse is not real, guys. It's all in your head or in my head. Anti-Semitic beliefs in the 12 Tribes also have a very interesting origin. The tribes preach that Jesus was crucified by the Jews, which is a complete bullshit because the Romans were the ones responsible. But early Christians loved Germans. The early Christians loved Romans. They wanted to absolve them of guilt. So Jews ended up being blamed for everything. As you know, the 12 Tribes love early Christians and aspire to be just like them, so they hate on Jews. This next section of the video is going to include a few sensitive topics, such as child abuse and child labor, so if you don't want to hear about any of those topics, skip it. The 12 Tribes have very unique teachings when it comes to raising children. And by unique, I mean don't try this at home or you're gonna get banged. Banged on your head by the police. Open the door, I'm outside. I found a book published by the 12 Tribes which is 348 pages long and called Our Child Training Manual. It's funny how it says training as if kids are like dogs and parents put them in a kennel and throw a ball and wait till they run to get it. Of course, I did not read the whole book, but I've read enough. It was enough. For instance, here the cult addresses child rights and makes them seem like a bad thing, and here they justify the chastisement and say that parents must punish their children for disobedience, rebellion, or to correct whatever it is they don't like in children's behavior. This manual teaches parents how to properly use a rod and where to use it. Whenever children disobey, ask the wrong questions, and refuse to do labor, hard manual labor on farms and factories, they get disciplined. Children are not allowed to play with toys and engage in activities that require imagination. Children can be punished not only by their parents but also by other adults in this community. The goal of the training is to make a perfect generation. The generation which will obey the orders and won't ask the wrong questions. The 12 Tribes attract new members with peace and love and all are welcome message, manipulating you to join. Underneath this love and sense of community, of belonging, lies something else, something disturbing and sometimes even immoral. Everybody who's not with them are against them, and everybody who's against them are destined to end up in the lake of fire. There's a lot more about this cult that didn't make into this video, so if I forgot to mention something, feel free to leave a comment and I'll go through them. Maybe next time I'll be smarter and wiser. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on another scary ride. Now cheers!